Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here for Vinland Saga, Season 2, Episode 17, titled The Road Home. And I skipped watching Vinland Saga last Friday because I was scared. Because I didn't feel up for the emotional impact of what I feel sure is about to come. Whether we succeed to some extent or not, and I don't know that we will. Our situation is dire, and I fear for the safety of these characters that we've come to know and love. I don't really fear particularly for the safety of Thorfinn and Einar. I believe them to perhaps have some kind of plot armor, which might be very effective if that gets ripped away. But I'm very worried about Gardar and Arnheid, and I'm very worried about the circumstances here on the farm. In our last episode, we reached a turning point. Sorry, Mushoku Tensei people. but we did. Thorfinn decided to act. And the whole episode, as Araragi Senpai pointed out in the comments, is directed around that moment, around that pivot point. And like Araragi Senpai, I think that they nailed it. I think that it's incredible. I had some wondering at whether this situation would be applicable to other people's lives, and I no longer care. I'm really interested in seeing what Thorfinn does given the context of Thorfinn's circumstances and Thorfinn's internal beliefs. He's up against the Snake, the best fighter that we've seen on screen in the modern era of our show. You know, maybe the other fighters in the warband were different, but Snake is impressive and scary and capable and thoughtful, and he's not rage-driven. He is dangerous beyond dangerous, and he really fulfills the promise of his namesake. When I was thinking about what to draw this morning, I ended up with this sweeping image of the punch, and I'm really proud of how it came out. It sort of flowed from my fingers, and I found myself really pleased with what flowed out. Very cool. But throughout, I was thinking of that moment and how much it makes me think of Thorfinn coiled as a snake. Like he's been coiling and winding tighter like a spring for years. For years and years. And finally, the situation comes together in a way that causes him to explode outward. And all that stored tension is released in this one strike and then held again. I don't know, with the exception of what I just sort of referenced a little bit ago in a bit of a meme, maybe in a couple of other places, I don't know many points that I can point to in a story where everything shifts as though on an axis. But the axis is Thorfinn and his willingness to close his fists and his willingness to strike out at another man. And it moves heaven and earth is the impression that I get. Everything moves around him when he makes this choice. It's strange. We just started watching Ashita no Joe last week, and I've just got a few images in my mind, but there's this image from the opening sequence of Ashita no Joe where the character that we're following, Joe in his eyes, falls back against the mat, and we watch his gloves pass up above him, but it's more like the whole world is spinning around him. That's what this feels like. We're caught in this one tiny moment of deeply human conflict, and it has links and ties and roots into everything. So however this shifts, everything else does too. I thought last episode was really cool. I'm grateful for the comments that we got on it, and I'm really scared of what's about to happen next. So, I wasn't ready last week, but I'm as ready as I'm ever going to be for this week's episode of Vinland Saga, episode 17, titled The Road Home. I gotta say, The Road Home as a title is a spooky one, because on the surface, it's like freedom, but directly under the surface is like, but freedom can also mean death. Right? Obvious, I think. Yay, we're taking you to your freedom. in the most horrid way, in the most anti-human kind of way. The road home, in a peaceful manner, might be the road up to the farm upstate, you know? The road home. We're going home. We're going home. Something, something, I'm going home. There's a whole set of ideas around death and home, right? Dust to dust. And I'm feeling like that might be the kind of road home that we're talking about here. At the very least for one character. Gardar he's got wounds in his guts, and he's been laying under a bed for like 3 days. Dude is septic. Like, dude is not surviving this, right? There's no chance. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we watch Arnheid and Gardar ride off into the sunset. But I think it's just as likely they... You know? Just slump. So you see why I'm scared by this episode? I've got all these ideas that maybe the show hasn't presented to me, but I feel like are, here comes the inevitable. We've been trying to find a way to accomplish this without fighting, and now we're going to fight, and I think we're still going to lose. What layers that adds to our set of questions for the show, big questions about winning, about safety, about the future, when you can fight and lose, I don't know. But we haven't gotten there yet, so I'm just speculating. In order to bridge the gap between speculation and reality, we'll just have to watch the episode. So let's do it. I have episode 17 of Vinland Saga Season 2 up and ready to go. There will be 2 versions, picture-in-picture in the description, timer on YouTube, beep beep timer to count you down with early access on the Patreon, and a beep beep timer to count you down. Like, that's home. Sweet. No pause to this combat, huh? Yeah, he's good, man. And you're out of practice. Way out of practice. You're probably faster than anyone he's fought before. I don't know where that is. Whole lot of bad, man. Talk. Yeah, that this was who he became. He strikes. Inside your reach. He really is playing monk class. I was just thinking about the first attack that he made was a stunning strike. Holy shit! Oh my god! What a match. Yeah! And how do you end up a slave? Who are you? Who are you, really? Right? They're both so good at this. Whoa. He's taking like a fencer's stance. You see what? Oh! He fucking got him. That's your head. But Thorfinn's too fast. Wow, that's intense. Oh. He maneuvered to the real problem. Okay. We lose. We lose. We can't battle him away from there. Ironhead. Oh my god, the old man's here. He's killed so many of his men, he can't. Wow, he's actually stepping forth. Yeah. He still has respect for his men. The value of life, huh? If you can calculate it like this, that leads to all sorts of difficult things like this. Well, well, that ended. Just like that. That's what power looks like. It's the ability to go like this and have somebody not get back up. Vengeance? Vengeance is what got us here. That's what I was really worried about. Oh my Gardar! Dude's nuts, man. That's a death grip. Oh, nope. Nope. He's got a full lock, man. Dude, I don't think he can hear you. That's the idea! I think Gardar might be dead. I think he might be dead. Not approaching horses. The sword is still on the ground. Snake might be dead. We're going home, buddy. We'll all go home together. If Snake is dead, we can get away with it. There's clarity in his eyes. Yeah, he's not gonna survive this. But we can put him on the road. Oh, good. Good. Thanks, Sverkel. Right on the dark and the light he sits. How intentional, huh? Right on the line. She knows. She knows, man. We get to ride out of here free. Damn, that's exactly it. Slumped in the cart. Dude, I imagine them going over this hill and then the other people are coming home. They're like, hey, what's good? Holy shit. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. If something stupid like that happens, I'm gonna die. The road. Just a long road. And the sky is ocean, yeah? We've shifted to being under the surface, and oh, she's gone. Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. This is the path to death. Themselves? They're all Gardar, aren't they? And so we walk on. Whoa, man. Whoa, this is what we're doing here. Oh, she's with him now. Oh, he's awake again. Hmm. Hmm. A dandelion? Healthy? Oh, the brightness in his eyes. The wholehearted belief. The panic of a father. Grabbed his hand. I don't know. This is fucked up, show. This is fucked up. I see what you're doing here. Hmm. We fought and killed. We never saw that scene. Ah. You lost everything. Wealth that will be yours. My pride. My new pride. How old is the earth? How old is the dirt? Yeah. He's still 6. Uh-huh. Oh, okay. Yeah. Jesus, man. Poor horses. Mm-hmm. Time to go a Viking. Make sure. Yeah. Too late to learn the lesson, but he learns the lesson. Oh. Just hold him close for now. We've only known him a few episodes, and he's a wild monster, and yet we're able to build this. Worry not, the torment need not be over, Arnheid. You're still alive. Himself leaving. The day he left. He sees finally what he left behind. Desperate regret. You make one choice and then you live with it for the rest of your life. Another pivot point, but for him. That is what it is, isn't it? As he's about to leave them forever. Like tears in the rain. Home, huh? Hjalti will be here waiting for you. Fuck, man. This is a horror scene. I'm okay. He's been waiting all alone here for a long time. He's been waiting for a long time. Oh shit, they nailed that. Goodbye, Gardar. You're home. No. Oh. Ow. Ow. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, what the hell? I don't know. Oh, that broke me at the end. The unfairness of it. The unfairness of it. We get this whole journey. What am I thinking of? What am I thinking of? Where this whole journey of like, oh, I know what I'm thinking of. Oh fuck, I know exactly what I'm thinking of. This is a strange aside. There's an episode of Dollhouse. The Joss Whedon show Dollhouse. Highly recommend, by the way. Where all of the characters are like mind wiped so that they can become active, as they can become like useful for this company, but their memories keep reemerging, and so they come up with this plan to let them free, and it's this big plot, this big heist to free all of them. They all escape. They all wander out into the world, and it's this beautiful moment where all these characters that are essentially enslaved and trapped finally walk free. And to spoil it, they all walk free, and then within a few minutes of getting out the door, each of them collapses because they've been programmed to. Because the whole thing was set up to give them the feeling of reaching freedom, the feeling of catharsis, and then to bring them back into the fold. And that's what this feels like to me. It's this like, we'll let the lead out so that you think you can roam free, and then we'll pull you back in. I was waiting for it too. It's something like the whole thing. It's like we dangle her out there and yank her back. Fuck. The unfairness of it. The face on Hjalti. blink and expand. I don't think I've seen facial animation that's hit like that since, like, Maiden Abyss. Light pops into his eyes. How much of this gets told under the surface? Hjalti has been waiting here in the afterlife, which is presented to us smoothly, so smoothly that we believe it. Unbelievable. And we are told, without telling us, that he's been waiting here the whole time. That he's grown up and aged here. Waiting for his parents to come home. And when we frame it that way, it's as though this is where we've been going the whole time. And that the whole journey, where these men are chained along the sides of the road and beaten and whipped, it's just him being held back, being kept from completing his journey. Where he needed to go was there in the end. Back to where he started. To what he should never have lost or walked away from in the first place. That's what we're doing here. That's what we show here. He had a pivot point too. A moment of choice that changed everything, around which heaven and earth moved. Thorfinn's was when he struck out. Hjalti's was when he stepped out. I'm sorry, Gardar's was when he stepped out. Out to fight for more, and he gave up everything he cared about. And now it's all just been a journey through every torture the world can throw at him to get back. To get back to his son. There are too many things in this episode that are done excellently. The feel, it's not the individual aspects of it, but the feel of this journey is so incredible. How we verge between spirit worlds and realities, dreams and waking. How things appear and disappear as though we're in a dreamscape. Oh, it's incredible. These elements that swim in his periphery, in the edges of his mind, occupy our frames as we jump through his memories and piece this strange mosaic, this pastiche, together. It tells us so much without saying anything, just by taking something and putting something else next to it. This is really masterful. And in a dramatically different way than the other episodes that we've had. We had a masterful ReZero episode this week that was so different that it makes this stand out even more. What wonder I have at putting this episode together. This episode that marries like the most action that we've had in season 2 of Vinland Saga, full stop, with the peaks of despair. All wrapped up in this like fucking sinister episode title that casts shadows over the whole thing and produces the expectations needed. That's sort of what the whole thing feels like. It's like we're able to create real depth and reality in the play of shadows. The play of like lights cast over each other and the outlines of things. Like without saying anything explicitly, we say everything. I'm so impressed. We have to move backward from the death. From the realization that we're still trapped. From the question, whose men are these? To the tears that fall on Gardar's face and catch in his beard. to this moment where Arnheid's face, is it this one? Where it shifts. It's so strange because when we first got this frame, I almost couldn't tell what we're looking at, whether it's her clothes or her face, but then she moves in it. It's agony. Agony in the minutia, in the cracks of her lips, in the flood of tears. Welcome home. This place is beautiful, and the rush that he feels as he runs, as he wakens in this space and feels rain on his face. It's her tears, ushering him into the new world. We play out the lesson once more. The moment that he chose, that he changed everything, and this time, finally he sees, I think. He looks and he can see in Arnheid's eyes, he can see her fear. And he recognizes now in the future, finally, this moment for what it was. For being the point that changed everything. It's such an interesting phenomenon in life that so rarely do we recognize these moments when they actually come to us. As moments of pivotal choice. They just feel like the everyday, but looking back, we know that those moments changed everything. What a great gift it would be to be able to see those before they appear. To be aware of the moments when you choose, and it changes everything. But it's only with hindsight that Gardar can see this clearly. And in doing so, he learns and thereby reinforces the lesson of our show so far. Never, never leave your sides again. But it's too late. It's too late for never agains. One has to live on principles in the first place. Principles that aren't fickle. And even then you're liable to do something stupid that'll fuck up everything. Because the path isn't clear. Not only is it straight and narrow, but it's winding and long and invisible. Wonderful. It's hard. I think that's really the key for Gardar's story and why it's so tragic. With our context and our knowledge, we know that Gardar made a mistake in that moment. But in the context of his world, it wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a necessity either. But it wasn't a bad idea. In fact, in the context of violence might makes right and you gotta take things like that, it was a great idea. The only idea. We don't get to know that it was an important moment until long after. Until you've been punished for it, until the consequences have come down the line. Oh, would there were a world where humans could see the effects of our actions before we take them. If there were ever a prayer to pray for, to whatever higher power you might believe in, I would pray for the wisdom to know what my actions might bring. How about that? And the wisdom to know what principles I might live by in order to prevent my actions from bringing terror and pain like this. Because you can act out of love and still have this happen, but it seems a lot less likely And yet, Gardar would say that he was acting out of love. The desire to make his family's lives better. But at what point does that desire for incremental improvement overstep some boundary? It depends on the circumstance and the world, and sometimes the world is cruel and it's fucked up, and you don't deserve this. What a complex situation. Because there's a version of this situation that's simple, that's so simple, where it was bad or evil for them to go and seek out this iron. But it wasn't. It was just the way of living things to go and acquire something that they need in order to live better. The way of populations. We don't make this clear cut. And I think that's something that we're starting, maybe not starting, but we should be recognizing in Yukimura's capacity as a writer, is the ability to create situations that are anything but clear cut, that have bloody, ragged edges to them, where maybe the right thing in one context is to stand up and fight, but the right thing in another, maybe bigger, maybe smaller context is to put down your swords and embrace your opponent. And in another context is to stay with your family, and in the other context is to run away with your family and flee this place before pain and death comes for you. And most of the time, you don't get to know until it's too late. It's like all the characters in this fucked up world game are like lottery balls bouncing around. And you never know if randomly your number is going to get pulled up and a swordsman's going to ride by and decide that your coat looks cool and he wants it. Or if you're going to decide that this will be your farm and you're going to dedicate 20 years to making it beautiful, and horsemen are going to come riding over the hill and take it all away from you. And kill every man in a mile and rape and steal every woman and child and burn your fields. And such is life. We don't get to know. We don't get to know. Don't let him go, Viking. Man. How do we make him so disconnected from these backgrounds? I think it's angle. I don't know. It's cool, though. It's quite a feeling that I get of Gardar drifting through this space. Also, the horse looks awesome. Is that the master that he killed in the first time we met him? I think it is. I don't know. These elements of his life all juxtaposed create such an interesting picture. Adrift in the wind like a dandelion, yeah? Oh, and the skies are so beautiful. Arnade, she always feels like a statue to me. It's the way that her hair is drawn. Braided with the strands. They feel like the way that Michelangelo might carve, or might carve those hair pieces. So Gardar rides and he witnesses himself in so many forms, bound along the road to the end, abandoned by the gods. And all of them in some way are him, is the impression that I get. Abandoned by the gods, bound along the wayside and unable to make their way home. Again, this speaks to me that Gardar's journey has been to get back there, but it also says, in the greater context of what slavery means, that slavery is it's like a stick in the gears of the cosmos. People march toward their end. In chains they do not. It's the vibe that I'm getting, and maybe I'm super wrong here, but it's like we're holding the spirits of humanity back and doing a better job than Earth's gravity. We're doing it to ourselves, to each other. She knows. We knew that this would be a temporal journey anyway. Oh man, but not the riders coming over the hill. Fuck that. Sverkel? Sverkel's really interesting to me, because he's an old man who's seeking absolution. He's seeking forgiveness, I think. I'm imposing all of this because it's not explicitly stated in the text, but he's got this deep value toward the Bible, and he thanks Snake for reading it to him in his old age, as though in the context of like, that's saved me or something like that. Sverkel, to me, with the sword that he has on the wall and the time that he's spent farming, he's the old awakened, right? He hasn't acted in the violent manner for so long. There's room for his salvation. Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. I think that's right. I think it's intentional in the text too. I don't think I'm straying too far from what's explicit. I think that Sverkel is a man who lived his whole life as a member of his society and then aged up out of it, in the rare way that so few men in this world age up, right? Like, you don't get that old. You fucking die. Sverkel didn't. Sverkel gets to live on, and he's formulated a worldview that's coherent and peaceful. Mostly. Comparatively. And I think he has come to believe in the Bible's salvation, in some element of it. My name is Sverkel. Go on, return to your home. Thank you. In a beam of light that cuts him right down the middle, Sverkel gives him the cart. You may have it. It's as though he's on a fence. He's on a dividing line. It's a strong image to me. I really think it's intentional. I desperately wonder whether that panel in the manga has the same light and shadow. If it does, then I'm 100 on it being intentional. Either way, it's a cool moment. And Thorfinn witnessing all of this. Man. Oh my god, underwater. Our jump to underwater is so cool, and his blank eyes turning vibrant again is so incredible. What a shock. And is Snake actually dead? Did he fully wrench his... He held him long enough. Easily long enough. But is he actually dead? I don't know. What a cool moment, his face a mask. Oh. Whoosh. Fucking crazy. Full Rasputin will not die, right? Like, man, this guy's got something to live for. Or at least something to die for. And having made our way all the way back here to this point where everything takes off, we enter the part of the episode that we were excited to see in the first place. And which is washed from my memory by everything that came after it. This is a cool fight. Whoa! A cool fight in my Vinlands! Look, it's a really cool fight. It ends with a... Oh, it's so... There's something so funny about this to me. And I don't mean haha funny, but like, oh, whoa, irony funny. We get this, like... funny to me in Indiana Jones pulling the gun and shooting the sword guy kind of vibe. Is we do this whole fight, battle, swords and fists sequence, and you just sort of like, whoop, and that's death, right? It's like, it's the fragility after everything. You're just a sack full of organs, and you just gotta be poked. I don't know why that sticks with me. I don't know why that sticks with me, but it really does. It's like the fragility of us. And Gardar, this This person who's like been near immortal this whole time, unfucking killable, will not die, and is a monster that everybody's trying to hunt down and deal with, silenced by a little pinprick. There's something about it. Snake's rage at the loss of his men and his particular justifications for it, I think, are really cool. But as we've made it to this moment, I'm going to go to the beginning of the moment. We're going to talk through some of the action, because I think there are some things that are worth actually talking through. These sequences of Snake slashing out at us, and the way that his body jumps back as he slashes forward, like, bam, really cool, yeah? Oh, really cool. Creates this like stretch or extension to him, which really does make it feel like the blade appears out of nothing, kind of. Puts us directly in Thorfinn's shoes, and that leads us into both of their minds as they learn how much respect they need to have for their opponents, and jumps us into some really solidly choreographed 1v1 sequences that still use those cool slashes that I was talking about. Oh, that's what it is. So I was wondering about that as well. These moments where everything sort of shoop, shoop, shoop at once. We're moving both things at once and then stopping them and locking them into place. And it, I was about to liken it to something else, and I don't know what. It wasn't 300. I don't know. Fuck it. It's cool. It's cool. It's choreographed. It's a dance. It's foop, foop, foop. It's got rhythm to it. It's cool. Faster than anyone I've ever fought before. There's also lots of cleverness of like sweeping his face in like this, creating fluidity and curved lines throughout, which is also important because that's how Snake fights. Thorfinn has fought in a bunch of different ways, but Snake fights in curves. Interesting that we just watched, again, Ashton Joe, where there's a lot of fighting in curves in the first couple episodes, but Snake fights in curves, and sometimes it stabs. Wham! And Thorfinn continuously puts himself into disadvantageous positions, relying on his nimbleness to get him back out of it in order to take impossible strikes. It's really cool. You're really good. Yeah, you're really good too. Why the fuck are you here? I am a warrior of Miklagard. So, look. History's history. The show's a show. Some things are not worth being spoiled on, but I'd like to know where Miklagard is. Is it Spain? What's Miklagard? I'm gonna find out. I'm just gonna Google.com, Miklagard. Oh, it's Turkey! Oh, it's Turkey. So it's a saber, probably for cavalry, but yeah, okay. Hold on. Similar, potentially, to a shamshir. A curved, essentially a cavalry saber. And with the sort of nub on the hilt, that pretty much nails it. It's in that realm of swords, yeah. It's a fair length Persian area style scimitar. And so that places Snake as Turkish. Interesting. Deeply interesting, fascinating. So I wonder what they did that has made them flee. So curious. Too bad we're not going to find out, I think. No kidding. What kind of monsters surrounded him? Thorfinn rushes forward for the battle. Boom! God, that's cool. Okay. Big wide shot. Run. And it's just, this is a still frame, basically, right? Yeah, it's a still frame. Holy shit. But all that momentum that we build as he rush carries into it because it's going the same direction. He runs, and then we cut to this still frame, and it's just to sweep up the still frame, but it's like, bam, action! Our mind glues it together, even though it's not there. And we just have to do the little motion of the end of the movement. Boom! And I believe that he's punched. That's so cool. I love animation sometimes. And then we dance around them in a way that's like, there's a knife fight in Yu Yu Hakusho where the two characters put the knife down on the ground. They have to put their foot against the knife and they can't like back up from there. And it spins around them and uses foreground elements to create this feeling like we're spinning around the whole sequence. It's always the element that the scene that I think of when I see a scene like this. But this is such a cool example of it. And the choreography is so fucking baller. Urgh! And then he's back. All overwhelmed with a flurry of blows. Blam, 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 blam. Choreography on point. Animation on lock. Absolutely awesome. Shushoom. Teleports behind you. Fucking awesome. And then they're so well matched. Don't get worked up. The important thing is to go. And he changes his mode and starts in this like pop, 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 pop. This sort of jabby thing. Man, I've never really thought about it like that, but you kind of, it's, I was about to say something that would be too universal, too broad. For most people, as far as I know, it's close to impossible to react in reaction time terms to a human jab, like a well-trained single jab. It's like, it's so fast. And if the opponent is doing it right, the hand just grows, right? It just goes from here to here, and it just grows in your face. And I'm just realizing, if you're holding a blade out, point towards somebody else's eyes, and you stab it forward, not only do you have less ability to perceive the depth of that blade because it's so thin, but they can also, like, they move it so fast, and it has so much reach to it. Like, even if it's a dagger, somebody coming and trying to punch you with a dagger, oh my god, that's scary. Oh my god, that's scary. Oh my god, that's so scary. I'm just imagining for the first time, like, what somebody coming at you fully with a rapier, and this dude is, like, 4 feet away from you, just putting a needle forward by like 14 inches and back. Just like, it's here and it's not anymore, and now it's over here and now it's over there. Oh, I'm scared of swords. I just discovered that I'm scared of swords. Swords are scary. Shit. He can strike even faster. Shing. And we get this, we get these, they're so crispy. These moments where everything slows down and all the shadowing becomes like immaculate and really careful. Shing. When we're in those slow-mo sequences like in the OP, and he, shing. What a monster. What a snake coiled to strike. And all of it is to fuck with you so he can land a kick. These two, God, I wish they were on the same side, you know? I wish that we were homies. I wish that our awesome fighters didn't have to fight each other. But in the end, it's not about killing you. It's about pushing you back. Making his way over to the man. And then making his point. Please don't, says Arne. Please don't. Please just let it go. But it can't. Like, no. 5 men dead. And this shocks me that Sverkel speaks, but he does. I'll even sell my fields, the fields that he was willing to give him. But that's not what it's about. It's not even really about vengeance either. It's the principle of the thing. It's the value of life. Even if we're scum, even if we're assholes who kill others, you can't just kill us. We have value. And there's an element of it that's like, nobody else is going to protect us. It falls to me because I'm the leader of these, and I would not be myself if I were not. We talked last episode about being bound by a social order, and there's an element of that here, but I think it's more personal. I think it's like, I'm seen by the whole world as an outcast who's worthless, therefore the only people I identify with and I'm willing to protect are those who are like me. It's a brotherhood thing. We're scum. We can't use our real names. But that doesn't mean our lives are worthless. So at the end of everything, he holds on to this value of life ours and says, to you, his is worth so much, but it's just one. How do we calculate this? Is his worth 5 of my friends? 5 of my men? And we're in an impossible place, I think, because once you start doing human life calculus, 1 human life is worth 1 human life is worth X loaves of bread, we run into a problem. And once we start trolley probleming, 1 human life versus 5 human lives, 4 human lives, 3, 2, 1, 1.1. Like, how do we, the life of a slave versus the life of a free man, the life of a free man versus the life of a lord, the life of a lord versus the life of a king. What's a king to a god? What's a god to a non-believer? I don't fucking know, right? Shut up, Kanye. You don't get to have a say in this. So we end up in it's a really fraught space. Who decides that his life is worth all the lives that he's taken? Nobody. The one with the sword. Maybe. How much more is he worth? So we don't speak. There's no real difference. Therefore, fair and square. He'll atone. Quick little stab, a little wiggle around, and Gardar is dead, if he wasn't already. And you, Arnade, you'll answer for it. Nope! That man won't fucking die. What a scene! What an incredible scene! What an absolute, oh my god, what the fuck? And crushed to death by those big honking arms. How sexy. Holy fuck. I kind of hope Snake isn't dead, but I'm pretty sure he is. Let's go home. We jump underwater. And his eyes clear. And it's as if we're in a dream from thence on. A dream and a nightmare in turns. Wandering down the road home. I think if we're lucky enough, we'll all eventually be allowed down that road ourselves. Not chained to a place of torment or beaten by a fool, but allowed to return to whatever peace we've held on to. So we live through the flashes, the moments, the scars. Pain and joy in equal measure. The delight of childhood moments that you want to be over while they're happening, but would trade anything for once they're gone. The fear at your babe crying. The desire, the need to work, to become something for him. Hjalti, son of Gardar, my new pride. For honor, for wealth. What are these things if he grows up with no father? What are these things if you bring the blade upon your own child? Honor and wealth? What's worth fighting for in this world? It's not those. What's worth fighting for in this world? Home. Home. The further away you get from it, the harder you'll have to fight to get back. Gardar makes it home. Now I can't help but worry that there's a whole family on the other side waiting for our aid with open arms. Perhaps she'll make her way down this path herself soon. Perhaps not. It looks like some of our forces are going to collide next episode. I'm excited to see the fireworks. And afraid of what fires they might set. Thank you for watching this episode of Vinland Saga along with me. I hope you enjoyed it, experienced it, cried, whatever it is. I hope you had a time. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week for another episode. You can catch it a little bit early on the Patreon linked in the description. Thanks again. Much love. Peace.